Arianna Morgan Beyer, our outstanding senior in academics and the arts, enrolled at Douglas Anderson School of the Arts in the 11th grade. Born in Chicago, Illinois, she is the daughter of Denise and Jim Beyer and the sister of Cortland, her older brother. Arianna came to play the clarinet and set the curve in all her courses. She has taken a strong college preparatory program, which included honors and 7 advanced placement classes, of which she especially loved her symphonic band course, which she credits for her development of a keen ear, and her AP biology class because it allowed her to be submerged in discovery. Arianna's interest in the arts began almost immediately after birth, when her parents brought her home and lovingly reared her in a home where music was passionately embraced. Arianna's dad plays the trumpet, her mom, a vocal performance major, plays the flute, and her brother plays the trumpet. In fact, the family performs together regularly and is known as the Beyer Family Band. When asked why the clarinet and not the trumpet or flute, Arianna laughingly replied, "I chose that clarinet when, as a 5th grader, I noticed that clarinets sit in the first row of bands and not in the back, and I definitely wanted to be up front." Arianna's passion for music and learning is evident in all she does. Arianna is a member of the National Honor Society, the DA Wind Symphony and Jazz Band, has served as concert mistress for the Florida All-State Symphonic Band, of which she has been a member since 2008, is principal clarinet of the Jacksonville Youth Orchestra, and has performed by invitation with the Tri-State Honors Jazz Ensemble at Florida State University. She also, as a guest soloist, has performed with the University of South Carolina Wind Ensemble and with the United States Navy Band. Arianna is a recipient of many awards. She placed in the 2013 National Young Arts Competition, won 1st place in both the United States Air Force Band's Young Artist Competition and the U.S. Navy's National High School Concerto Competition. She was the 2011 and 2012 1st place clarinet winner of the John Philip Sousa National Young Artist Solo Competition. At our awards ceremony last Thursday, she received the school's prestigious Bravo Award in music. To give you an idea of this young lady's interest and passions, she loves to read especially very small books, makes to die for breadsticks, her favorite color is blue, and she loves comfort food. She stated that she has no tolerance for those whose goal is just to get by in life. Arianna is an animal lover. Her 3 dogs are Piccolo, Shiki, in case you didn't know, that's the name of a brand of trumpet, and Tosca, named after the clarinet that she hopes and dreams of owning one day. When chatting with me last week, Arianna shared that she loved her experiences at DA, pointing out that the open, warm acceptance by others of different backgrounds, experiences, and cultures, and the superior training and education she received is so valued. Arianna is a caring, highly motivated, respected student whose level of responsibility is impressive indeed. I have no doubts that she will excel. She has been prepared academically and has learned the skills necessary to balance an academic and artistic world, so important for all of us. The Eastman School of Music and the University of Rochester will receive an unusually gifted young woman. It is my pleasure and privilege to present to you, with a grade point average of 4.559, the valedictorian of the 2013 graduating class of Douglas Anderson, Arianna Morgan Beyer.
Good evening, administrators, faculty, parents, family, friends, and fellow graduates. I am truly honored and humbled to have the opportunity to speak tonight. I wish I could stand here and say, like most of you can, that the past 4 years have been the most incredible of my life. but I can only say that about the last 2 years. DA is an amazing school, and no matter how many years we are able to walk the halls, sit in the classrooms, and perform in the theater, we are absolutely blessed to have been at DA at all. So I want to begin by thanking Mrs. Cornelius for being a persistent advocate for the arts and for her stewardship of the DA community, and finally for tonight's splendid celebration of our achievements. I also wish to extend gratitude to the Duval County Superintendent and members of the school board for offering a collegiate-level arts magnet program which celebrates the passion of young artists. And thank you, fellow graduates. You are absolutely the best of the best, and any one of you could be up here giving an inspirational and insightful speech. In the case of creative writers, a better written speech, and in the case of theater majors, a more entertaining speech. But since you're stuck with a band kid, I'll just share a story. I can still remember the day in kindergarten when my mom pulled me out of class. No, I wasn't in trouble. She proposed that I skip kindergarten because finger painting had apparently been deemed too easy for me. It was that moment that I first experienced the gut-wrenching feeling of uncertainty and change. Knowing full well the power of a bribe, my parents offered me Disney trinkets to dangle on my shoelaces if I agreed to advance to first grade. I pounced on the offer and spent the rest of the year working simple math problems and reading beginner books instead of coloring. The next year, however, I found myself re-enrolled in first grade so I could be with kids my own age. Between you and me, I think my parents just wanted to keep me at home longer. I'm 18, and they still aren't ready for me to go off to college. Back to my story. At age 5, I couldn't see that I had gained anything from my advance to first grade other than some super stylish shoe ornaments. However, I now realize that experience prepared me for the many other changes I would make pursuing the best education to launch me into my future. Since then, I've had to embrace change many times in order to pursue my academic and musical dreams. In order to reach my goals, I've transferred to 5 different schools, and each time I had that same shaky feeling in the pit of my stomach I had back in kindergarten, so anxious about the uncertainty that comes with a change. The hardest, although the best change I made was at the end of my sophomore year when I decided to attend Douglas Anderson School of the Arts. I'll admit that at first, I completely rejected the idea. After all, I was drum major of the marching band, ranked #1 in my class, and had already planned out my junior and senior schedule at my present high school. Why in the world would I want to leave behind my friends and well-laid plans? I'll never forget being on the football field, watching my brother celebrate his graduation with his friends while I sobbed. This new change would take me 2 hours away from my home, miles away from my friends. I was walking away from the leadership positions I had earned and the respect I had won from my band director, Mr. Langford. However, after visiting DA, receiving Mr. O'Connor's famous campus tour, and offering Mr. Barrett an audition I'm extremely embarrassed to recall, something in me knew that even with that familiar gut-wrenching feeling of reluctance at the thought of change, Douglas Anderson was the next step toward my goals. I needed to be immersed in an arts environment with bright, talented, passionate, and ambitious individuals dedicated to all forms of art. As I stand here today, having experienced 2 wonderful years at this awesome school, I look back and realize I made the right decision, one from which I have benefited so much. For example, my former high school just got the bad news that the performing arts program has been drastically cut for budget reasons. Next year, there will only be 1 band class. No more jazz band, no more vocal department, no more theater. Thank God for DA. I'm so glad I took those Indiana Jones steps of faith and made the decisions I've made. In doing so, I participated in some incredible performances with amazing people, inspiring artists, and with my best friend, I love you, Bobby. Transferring to DA is the best decision I've ever made. I know we hear it so often, but it's true that the opportunities afforded at DA are rare and second to none. Goodness, our school has an orchestra program that was recently honored to perform at the Midwest Clinic, while I'm pretty sure no one in my hometown even owns a violin. And not only has our orchestra received this honor, the Douglas Anderson Wind Symphony participated in Midwest last year. Our vocal department just performed on the Lincoln Center stage in New York. The jazz band enjoys national recognition. Many of DA's creative writers are already publishing. Our dance, theater, and piano departments provide the entire Jacksonville community with some of the best performances every season. DA visual artists' work graces not only the halls of our school, but many professional buildings in the city. Guitar students collaborate with professional artists. Young filmmakers at DA receive national recognition in their industry. Equally important, Douglas Anderson always ranks at the top in the country for academic achievement. And aren't we lucky that our school's biggest problem is students not wearing IDs, regardless of how much it makes us think, ain't nobody got time for that. The intense and challenging studies in all of our departments, whether art or academic, have provided us with a deep appreciation for the arts, as well as prepared us for success in whichever field we choose. I believe that this year's graduating class will not only produce future Louis Armstrongs, William Shakespeare's, and Leonardo da Vinci's, but also the next Neil Armstrongs, Abraham Lincoln's, and Steve Jobs. What an honor to be standing with such an intelligent and aspiring class. But no greatness is ever achieved alone. Therefore, graduates, before we go off into our next adventure, let's take a moment to appreciate Douglas Anderson parents, teachers, staff, and administration for helping us get this far and encouraging us to dream, and dream big. I know we can be a pain sometimes and may not always show it, but we are grateful for everything you do. As the French philosopher and scholar Bernard of Chartres said, "I have stood on the shoulders of giants." So thank you to all of the adults in the DA community for your unflagging support and belief in us. As we take the next step in our journeys, I encourage all of us not to be afraid to make the hard decision, to do what is right, to do what is best. My dad helped in my decision-making process by offering the analogy of laying shingles on a roof. Setting one shingle off skew by a small amount will result in a large misalignment at the other end of the roof. So, our decisions guide us. A big result in the years to come can be attributed to a small decision made today. Every choice we make, whether proactive or reactive, will impact our future. I implore you to make proactive decisions. Make choices that will lead you towards your goals, no matter how difficult the path may look. Yes, it is scary. It is hard. But I challenge you to push yourself to take a chance, pave your own path, and embrace uncertainty. You'll never know what you're missing until you break out of your comfort zone. So I dare you. Like Indiana Jones, take leaps of faith. Trust God. As my dad always says, dream, believe, and have the passion to persist. Congratulations to the Douglas Anderson School of the Arts class of 2013. We made it. Thank you.